Hi everyone, today I want to talk about future tenses will and going to. Will and going to are probably the most common ways of talking about the future, but there's some important differences between the two that I think everyone needs to know, especially when you're an English learner. Let's start with will. Now, will is probably the first future tense that everybody learns. I will eat lunch. I will go shopping. It's future, it's simple. But you shouldn't stop there. Just using will and verbs for future tenses isn't quite enough. So when should we use will? Well, will plus a verb is used to talk about future predictions, promises or offers, and things that you have just recently decided to do, or sudden decisions or thoughts. Let's look at some examples of that. So here's an example of a prediction. You will catch a cold if you stay out in the rain too long. I'm sure you've heard that before. The prediction is catching a cold. Here's an example of promises or offers. I'll buy you a cup of coffee. This is a common offer that a friend might make or a coworker. I will bring more jobs to the community. Now, this is kind of like a promise. This is the kind of thing you would hear from a politician when they're running for office and they're maybe giving a speech to some people. And here's some recent decision examples. I'll answer the door. So maybe somebody knocks on your door and you weren't planning on that, so you just decided that you will answer the door. I think I'll order the roast chicken. Well, when you go to a restaurant, you look at the menu. Maybe you don't know what's on the menu until you get there, so you browse the menu and then you decide on your menu choice, the roast chicken. You just decided. It's a recent decision. So what about going to? Well, there is some crossover between will and going to, but going to also has its own set of rules that we can follow. We use be plus going to plus a verb for future events that are already planned. Predictions that are based on what we see at the moment, and also some future predictions, similar to will. So here's an example of a planned event. We are going to take a long vacation this summer. People often plan vacations ahead of time, usually ahead of time. Maybe you don't know where you're going to go yet, but you do know that you're going to go on vacation. So it's a planned event that you're going to go on vacation. Here's an example of a prediction in the moment. Sam is going to fall. In this image, we can see that someone is slipping on the ice. They haven't quite fallen yet, but it looks like they're about to. So we might say, he is going to fall, or Sam is going to fall. We're getting the information from the scene, and we're making this prediction in the moment. Now here are some examples of predictions with both going to and will for the same kind of information. The weather forecast said it's going to rain tonight. The weather forecast said it will rain tonight. Now, there's not really any difference between these two forms. You can use going to and will in this situation for predicting the weather. Many people will use will, many people will use going to, and both are correct. This is kind of up to you. Now, it's important to remember that not everybody will follow these forms exactly, even native speakers. There's different types of slang and different ways of speaking that people use, but for the most part, you can follow these basic rules. You should try to learn the differences and use both when it's appropriate. So that's all for today. I'll see you next time.